but runs into a reformed black media, now known as Lack. Melida begins hearing a voice in her head, but they're interrupted by a scream from down the hall and come across an unconscious student. Blossom uses a potion to determine that the perpetrator is a male that uses blue-colored mana, causing many to suspect Kufa. Later, the students arrive in Shangarda, where Melida hears more voices and wanders off towards some suspicious plants. Blossom stops her and explains that the area is home to many dangerous mystery spots. Someone then informs Blossom about a sick resident, who then has to be killed in order to stop the illness. Rosti brings Kufa to a church where she apologizes for asking him to be her fiancé, but thanks him for going along with the idea. As Kufa returns to Melida's dorm, she is upset for him being so late and demands something in return. Kufa takes her out and shows her a mystery spot he found a long time ago. They arrive at a magnetic cave where they're able to float around the cavern, much to Melida's joy. That night, Melida has another nightmare with the strange voice, and is woken up by Elise, who tells her of another attack by the blue mana perpetrator and that Kufa is nowhere to be found. Melida and Elise arrive at the scene to find all of Blossom's adopted children drained of life energy. Blossom suspects Kufa committed the crime and told the town's citizens to find him. Melida runs off in search of Kufa, but Lack stops her and agrees to help solve the mystery. In order to maintain a low profile, Lack disguises herself as a student, and the duo wander around town asking the citizens for any knowledge regarding the mystery spots. After cunningly getting information from a woman in a flower shop, Melida and Lack find the Crooked House, an abandoned house which is rumored to be the most dangerous mystery spot. They discover a pathway that leads underground and follows it, leading them to a dungeon that's been filled with the corpses of the townspeople who were killed for harboring the strange sickness. As Lack begins to suspect Blossom of experimenting on the townsfolk, Melida hears the voice in her head and runs off, suspecting another incident is about to occur. She rushes to the church and finds Elise unconscious and Rosti dead. The citizens head out to find Kufa while Blossom takes Rosti's body himself. As Melida lays Elise down to rest, Shenfer runs in and tells Melida that Blossom has been attacked and Rosti's body taken, as well as that the residents are coming for Melida due to her connection to Kufa. She escapes and runs to the mystery spot where Blossom warned about the plants and broke through a wall leading into a tunnel. She follows it and comes across an underground library. She picks up the files and reads them, discovering how Blossom has been tampering with lycanthropes and humans with the night gene factor. She then hears the same voice in her head, and suddenly Rosti appears with white hair and blue mana. The voice then orders Rosti to attack, but Kufa appears and stops her. As the two clashes, Kufa transforms into his vampire form, causing Rosti to flee and Melida to gaze at him in horror. Melida attempts to approach Kufa, but he pins her down and says he will erase her memories of him until the day they met. Melida hugs and then kisses Kufa after explaining that she alone will be on his side. Kufa then reveals that he is half lycanthrope to Melida and enters a flashback showing Marquis Blossom holding Kufa's body and speaking with an enormous spider-like lycanthrope named Nakwa about the night gene factor and how they failed to control it. Kufa awakens and walks over to a dying Rosti and turns her into a vampire to save her life. Father arrives to fight off the lycanthrope, ending with young Kufa blinding the spider and Father finishing it off. Kufa then freezes young Rosti's memories and explains to Father that he wants her to be happy without the burden of knowing what she is, before joining the White Knight Guild. In the present, Kufa asks Melida to never say anything about what she just heard before explaining that Nakwa has somehow returned and teamed up with Blossom to get Rosti a fiancé to increase the number of mana users in Shangarda. Kufa then says that he already has a plan and requires some assistance. Melida then barges into the chapel where Rosti is getting married, and then explains that her love for Kufa is stronger than Rosti's, causing the latter to snap out of her daze. The two then get into a fight, causing Nakwa to reveal himself as the perpetrator of all the attacks thus far. Nakwa escapes with Rosti giving chase, who remembers everything about her past. Kufa arrives and both he and Rosti change into vampire form to engage in combat with Nakwa. With the help of the Academy students, they're able to defeat Nakwa once and for all. As Roasty happily remembers her past, Kufa freezes her memories again due to the pact he made with the guild. Kufa finds Blossom in a dark room with his wife Carmilla pinned to a wall, who is in the process of becoming a lycanthrope. To repay his debt to Blossom for raising him, Kufa gives Carmilla a drug to turn her back into a human. As the students return home, Blossom is revealed to have turned himself in, while Melida welcomes Elise back and teases Roasty about her new relationship with Kufa. At school, Melida is excelling her grades. After class ended, Nerva talks to her about not everyone at the academy believes they've accepted and forgot Melida's nickname, Incompetent Talented Girl. The principal announced a test, Vibria Goat, that takes place in a library. Meanwhile, Salacha's brother, Serge Skixel, brings up the concern about proving that Melida isn't from House Angel, and Mule comes up with an idea to test this theory to the other nobles. While Salacha has doubts, Melida and Kufa arrive to school, as someone claims that he is Melida's father started a rumor about Kufa in front of everyone and left. Afterwards, Melida talks to Kufa about that man making lies about her. On the day of the test, the students arrived to the Labyrinth library. Kufa then received a message from Felgus Angel, and he wishes to take Melida away and end Kufa's services working for House Angel. But Kufa told Felgus to reconsider the decision for 1 year. Then a maid notified Felgus about a letter, and he noticed it was from Grimfus. Melida and Elise explored the labyrinth and Ghosts appears. They defeated the ghosts as more shows up. Then Salacha and Mule appears in front of them. Kufa reassures Roasty that he will deal with Guild Grimface targeting the students and tells her to stay behind to protect the other students. Mule explains to Melida and Elise about them taking the exam too and offers for them to join as a team. Afterwards, the group approaches a disheveled bookshelf that needs to be rearranged in the correct order. When they reach down to pick up a book, small imps appear as their foes. Melida defeats them, and Mule tells Elise and Salacha to place the books back to the correct bookshelf. After the books are in place, they are given special books that indicate they passed the exam. But Salacha suddenly takes Melida's book away. Meanwhile, the headmistress attempts to regroup with the other students, but is attacked by Grimfus members and is injured. Kufa appears and defeats the enemies while one of the guild executives summons more ghosts. Mule then takes the book from Salacha, reads out loud that Melida's class is samurai, before attempting to escape the labyrinth. As Kufa begins to become surrounded by ghosts, Jin appears and defeats the remaining enemies, before revealing that Grimfus isn't after Melida, but the entire student body of the academy. Father suddenly appears, recruiting Jin to his services in exchange for the formula to turn lycanthropes back to humans. Father then charges Kufa with finding the missing girls and bring them back safely. Meanwhile, Melida catches Mule and demands an explanation, but is met with a spell and is surrounded by bright light. Melida awakens in a courtroom akin to the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, which is run by Mule, Serge Skixel, and the other noble families of Flandor as the jury. Serge accuses Melida of deceiving everyone by being an illegitimate child of the Angel family, causing the jury to stir and throw insults at her. She retorts that she is the heir of the Angel family and will prove it by getting strong enough to join the Crest Legion. Serge accepts the challenge and invites Melida to fight Salacha to prove her worth. After initially getting cornered by Salacha's Dragoon class, Melida uses Kufa's training and feints, falling off balance to catch Salacha off guard, defeating her.
No more.
The jury begins to doubt their accusations and worry about the consequences of their actions, until Serge suddenly reveals a magical pen that transforms into a massive ink-like dragon. As the girls evacuate the nobles, Serge is revealed to be a member of Guild Grimfus in disguise, who also claimed to be Melida's biological father. As he attacks the girls, Kufa appears and fends off the attack, allowing he and Melida to work together in perfect sync to defeat the masked man.
What's a bastard like you got?
Brilliant 7.
The man wakes up in the real world beside Surge, who laments their foiled plans and kills the man for failing. A few days later, the culprit was revealed to be a disgraced member of the Crest Legion. Felgus, Melida's father, arrives soon after to investigate the current status of the Legion, and later acknowledges Melida as his daughter. Sometime later, Melida meets with Kufa and promises to be able to protect him someday, reinforcing his decision to be with her. This is the end of my video, so please watching all of my anime recap series. Thanks for watching.